Now on CoastTV News.
The sky full of fog instead of planes. Why the Ocean City Air Show got canceled yet again. Bypass construction creating road closures starting tomorrow. What roads you should avoid in Millsboro. A riot declared in Portland yesterday amid No King protest. We take you to multiple states across the country to show you the aftermath.
And it was a cloudy, well below average Father's Day on the Delmarva Peninsula. I'm tracking more waves of showers and downpours in the days ahead. Then a big warm-up is coming. I'll tell you all about it coming up in my full forecast.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
Everyone tried pushing the fog up and away, but that couldn't stop Mother Nature. Good evening, I'm Brandon Ferguson. Welcome to CoastTV News at 11. We begin tonight with the anticipated air show in Ocean City being canceled. Everyone is set up and ready to watch some aircrafts hit the sky, but the fog was too low for the show. CoastTV News reporter Kevin Sapay shows us what took place instead.
After checking the weather from the ground and in the sky, the Ocean City Air Show broke the bad news after hours of waiting.
We have been wishing that the clouds would rise, but unfortunately, it is that time of the day when we officially have to announce the closing of Air.Show Ocean City.
Diane Grooms, who drove from DC to see the air show like many others visiting from out of state, was heartbroken to hear the news.
A little disappointing, but it's still nice to be in Ocean City.
Everyone tried to push the fog up and away, but that didn't stop Mother Nature from stopping the show. Yet, people still had a great time.
You can still have fun even in this bad weather.
People were playing cornhole, dancing, buying merchandise, and had a chance to meet some of the crew members, who took the time to give out autographs and take photos with fans. Although no one had the chance to see the Blue Angels fly above the ocean, Tom Saunders, an Ocean City firefighter, had a special opportunity this past Tuesday to fly with the team, and loved every second in the air.
Extremely humbled and extremely blessed to be able to be selected. It's truly an honor and a blessing to have these men and women fly for us.
CoastTV had a chance to speak with Commanding Officer Flight Leader Adam Bryan from the Blue Angels before the show date, and he was especially looking forward to flying above Ocean City.
As a young college student, I remember coming out here to Ocean City, and my wife's family is from the Maryland area, so we have some ties back here.
Now, though the weather fell short today, people we talked to here on the beach said they still had a great time and are already planning their trip for next year's air show, but hope for better weather. I'm Kevin Sapay in Ocean City, CoastTV News.
In Milton, a man was arrested after he allegedly set an apartment on fire with children inside. The Milton Police Department says officers responded to Park Royal Apartments around 8:15 Friday night to help the Milton Fire Department with a structure fire. An investigation then revealed that 35-year-old Robbie Robinson intentionally set the fire to the apartment after a domestic dispute. There were 2 children in the apartment, but thankfully they escaped unharmed. Robinson was arrested and charged with reckless endangering and arson in Milton. There's been some air quality alerts in place due to the wildfires up in New Jersey. The National Weather Service says Kent and Sussex counties in Delaware have code orange alerts throughout earlier today, which means air could be unhealthy for sensitive groups like people with asthma, heart disease, lung disease, and the elderly. So if you're in one of these groups, it's recommended to avoid exercise and stay safe outdoors. And we're now going to take a live look outside into Milford and bring in our first alert meteorologist, Chris Mastrobuono. Good evening to you, Chris.
Good evening, Brandon. Yeah, that air quality alert continues for about another hour for the entire state of Delaware. And yeah, that is all thanks to that wildfire up in Burlington County, which is just across the bridge from Philadelphia. You can see the red and the orange dots representing unhealthy air quality. So that's something we were dealing with for most of the last 24 to 48 hours. The other story today was the cool temperatures. We had plenty of cloud cover. So we went from 91 on Thursday, right, down to 68 today. 68 today with the onshore winds, the clouds, the fog. In fact, if it's going to be this miserable, we might as well break some records, right? The previous cold high today was 69, set back in 2007. Well, we hit 68 today, breaking that record. We also cracked the top 3 coldest daily highs of all time for Father's Day. We are now ranked third on that list with that temperature we had today. 74 Salisbury, so a bit milder across the eastern shore. 73 Cambridge, 69 in Ocean City with that fog. Folks taking in the boardwalk tonight. It's remained relatively dry today and through the evening. The shower activity having a hard time fighting that marine layer. Temperatures right now 64 Rehoboth, we're at 63 in Georgetown, 64 Seaford, and 64 in Delmar. We continue to see that onshore flow, and then there's the shower activity. See, it's just kind of fighting that air. We're going to begin to see, I think, a few scattered showers and maybe even a brief downpour through the overnight as this stalled front eventually lifts northward. So tomorrow, waking up to some showers, some drizzle. By the afternoon, we're going to be seeing mostly cloudy skies throughout the coast. Temperatures, I think, are going to struggle to get to 70 once again. I think the better chance of that is across the eastern shore. So we stay unsettled Monday through Tuesday. Then the big warm-up comes Wednesday into Thursday as we see humidity return and even the threat of some strong to severe storms by Thursday evening. And then beyond that, we could be on the cusp of maybe our first heat wave of the year coming in June 23rd through the 29th. We'll talk more about that coming up in the full 7-day forecast.
Thank you, Chris. On your screen now is where a murder took place early yesterday morning at the 24,000th block of Rivers Edge Road in Millsboro. Here's the details of that murder. Delaware State Police say Marcus Harris shot and killed a 19-year-old man and wounded 2 others outside of a home on Rivers Edge Road. Around 2 a.m., investigators say the violence followed an argument between the victim and a woman at the house who knew both Harris and the men involved. Harris was arrested at the scene and is now facing first-degree murder and attempted murder charges. He's currently being held on a $480,000 cash bond. In Ocean City, police have arrested a Baltimore man in connection with multiple vehicle break-ins, credit card fraud, and weapons charges. Officers say 37-year-old Terrell Jones was caught after running away from police near 8th Street on June 12th. During the chase, he discarded a stolen property and a modified handgun. Investigators linked him to at least 2 vehicle break-ins and found he was wanted on multiple warrants. Jones faces more than a dozen charges and is currently being held without bond in a Worcester County jail. Staying in Ocean City, officials are already putting up notices for road closures on Wednesday as the Maryland State Firefighters Parade rolls through downtown OC at 1:30 p.m. Expect road closures, parking restrictions, and heavy pedestrian traffic throughout the day. Baltimore Avenue will close to northbound traffic from 14th Street to 30th Street, with staging starting at the inlet lot at 11 a.m. Parking bans begin at 8:30 a.m. in key downtown areas. And if you're not attending the parade, avoid delays by using Philadelphia Avenue or St. Louis Avenue. Moving to Rehoboth Beach, lanes on Holland Glade Road between Sandalwood Drive and Hebron Road in Rehoboth will be closed starting tomorrow, June 16th through July 16th. Crews will begin installing new curbs, sidewalks, and a pedestrian connection. Staying in Rehoboth Beach, on Monday, City Manager Taylor Tedder opted out of a potential raise. According to Mayor Stan Mills, all Rehoboth Beach employees, including Tedder, have the chance every year to increase their salary based on performance, anywhere from 0 to 3%. Tedder did not move forward with this raise, his reasoning to, quote, create goodwill in the community. You may remember his $250,000 salary and hiring package drew ire and even a Freedom of Information Act complaint. In Millsboro, a major road closure is set to begin tomorrow, Monday, June 16th. This related to the ongoing Millsboro Bypass project. On your screen now is Hollyville Road between Washington Street Extension and Route 24. This closure will be in place through mid-August with weather permitting. The closure is part of the North Millsboro Bypass project as crews work to realign Hollyville Road and its new configuration. It will reopen when the bypass opens completely and detours are in place heading both ways. Police are declaring a riot after clashes outside of Portland's ICE facility last night. It followed a day of peaceful anti-Trump No Kings protest across Oregon and the U.S. This video from the scene, as you can see, protesters circling the ICE facility, holding signs and flags. Some of the protesters broke the glass doors of the building before tear gas and pepper balls were deployed, causing the crowd to retreat. One person was arrested for assaulting a police officer. The Portland Police Bureau was also made aware that one federal officer was injured during the clash, but that the officer did not require medical treatment. Protests in downtown Salt Lake City turned violent yesterday as well when gunfire erupted during a No Kings demonstration. It happened shortly before 8 p.m. as about 10,000 people marched to protest recent federal policy decisions. And on this traffic camera video, you can see people running for cover as they heard the gunfire. Police say one person suffered life-threatening injuries. 3 people are in custody, including one with a gunshot wound. The Salt Lake City police chief says it's unclear if the shooting was tied to politics or had anything to do with the event.
Prior to leading up to the shooting, were very peaceful. The event organizers worked closely with us at the Salt Lake City here at Salt Lake City, and up until the point of the shooting, there was no indication of any problems.
The police chief also says many of the areas helped officers track down the suspected shooter. The critically injured victim has not been identified yet. Police made 35 arrests after protesters clashed officers in Denver yesterday as well. Officers made 17 protest-related arrests for charges including resisting arrest, obstruction of streets, failure to obey a lawful order, and unlawful throwing of projectiles. Just after 11:30 a.m. today, the department updated that number to 34 arrests, along with one related to an outstanding warrant out of Delta County. Additionally, one person under 18 was detained and released after being cited. The clash with officers happened after most of Saturday's No Kings demonstrations has left the downtown area. We have breaking news just coming in within the last 20 minutes. The man suspected in the deadly attacks of Minnesota lawmakers has been taken into custody. Authorities say Vance Belter was arrested just minutes ago following a nationwide manhunt. Belter is accused of killing former Democratic House Speaker Melissa Hortman and her husband at their Brooklyn Park home early yesterday. Just hours later, Senator John Hoffman and his wife were injured in a separate attack at their Champlin residence. Officials have not yet released details on the motive or Belter's arrest location. This investigation is continuing. The Trump administration is halting some ICE raids. An email sent Thursday by senior ICE officials orders all agents to stop enforcement on agriculture restaurants and hotels. That's according to the New York Times. It's in line with comments President Donald Trump made Thursday on social media. He acknowledged his immigration policy has made it difficult to replace workers taken away from farms and hotels. And this move marks a major shift in Trump's mass deportation campaign. Coming up tomorrow on Coast TV News, OC Bike Fest is getting a rebrand. What changes is coming with it? And coming up after weather, the latest in the Nola Dinkins Amber Alert turned murder investigation.
And well, we're going to start the week, well, the way we're ending the weekend. A lot of clouds, damp, some scattered showers, very cool, and then we turn it up. The heat gets cranked up as we go into Wednesday and Thursday. We'll talk more about that coming up right after the break. Well, I hope all the dads out there had a wonderful weekend. Sorry we couldn't do a little better weather-wise, but there's plenty of sunshine and hot weather in the extended forecast, as you'll see here momentarily. 68 degrees with that cold high we had today after a morning low of 62. We should be at 83 for this time of year, and there's the record high, 96, set back in 1957. So it's a damp night out there. 64 degrees right now. Winds relatively calm. Could see some patchy fog out there once again. Kind of been verbatim here every night here with the rain, the shower threat, and the clouds. Temperatures generally in the lower 60s. We're at 64 Seaford, 64 in Milton, and we're at 64 in Bethany Beach. Dew points right now, upper 50s to lower 60s. Now these dew points are really going to begin to rise As we get in the middle part of the week, we're going to see those dew points back in the 70 to 75 degree range, and it's going to be getting very, very sticky here mid to late week. Now, we still have that air quality alert up through midnight, expecting those conditions to improve through the day tomorrow. Some showers trying to begin to work in the eastern shore as well as through Accomack County. I think we will see a band of showers and maybe even a brief downpour through the wee hours of the morning. So we wake up tomorrow, some damp conditions, some spotty showers and drizzle. Overnight, temperatures drop a few more degrees here, but generally lower to mid 60s with the scattered showers. So this pesky front that's just been to our south, area low pressure passing to our south, this warm front's going to lift northward into the day on Tuesday. So we have a few more waves of shower and downpours to get through here over the next few days. So we start the day damp tomorrow. Highs, I think, are going to touch 70, especially across the eastern shore and most of our inland locations. The coast, upper 60s to around that 70 degree mark. Futurecast shows the few showers into the early morning hours. By the afternoon, I think most of the day is dry, spotty drizzle, continuing to see that onshore flow, a lot of cloud cover. And then as we go into Tuesday, a mostly cloudy day, but I think we could see some breaks in the clouds near 80 in inland areas before another wave of shower and scattered thunderstorm activity rolls in through the wee hours of Wednesday. But the big story, the big jump in temperature. By Wednesday, we're up to 90, 93 into Thursday, average high 83. And then there's that stronger cold front coming in late Thursday. This has to be watched closely in the days ahead because the Storm Prediction Center already, you say, well, 50% chance, not that much, but 4 to 5 days out, that needs to be kept a close eye on. You can see just grazing portions of the eastern shore and northern Delmarva. So we'll have to watch how that evolves in the days ahead. But the other big story is going to be the heat. I think the heat really begins to build in after the 23rd, after we get past these 2 hot days. But look at that, Brandon, next weekend, potentially a weekend without any rain. 86 on Saturday and 91 on Sunday.
Looking good, Chris. Thank you. Now to some tragic stories unfolding here in the first state, where the death of a 3-year-old girl is now under investigation. Police in Newark say the child's mother is accused of fatally beating her. Both the mother and her boyfriend are now facing serious charges in connection with the little girl's death. As Jessica Cartella shows us, the child's devastated grandmother is speaking out, demanding justice for her granddaughter.
From her home in Indiana, Velma Dinkins shares stories of her granddaughter she lovingly called her Nola Bear.
She captured everybody's heart. From the moment you saw her, you fell in love with her.
Maryland State Police say 3-year-old Nola Dinkins was discovered in a vacant parking lot in Cecil County. Nola's mother, 31-year-old Darian Randall, is charged with her murder.
And we have so many questions, but all of that is going to come in due time.
According to an arrest affidavit, Randall confessed to physically striking the victim with a belt approximately 15 to 20 times. Randall told police that when Nola stopped moving, she put her daughter's body in a suitcase. It remained there overnight at the home that Randall shared with her boyfriend, 44-year-old Cedric Antoine Britton, in Northeast Maryland. On Wednesday, police discovered the suitcase with Nola's body in a vacant parking lot. Britton is accused of helping Randall dispose of the little girl's body.
And we are just heartbroken that this has happened to us. My precious baby and my son is well loved, and he is going to get what he needs, and we are going to get the justice that we need, and we're going to get the closure, because he will never be alone.
In addition to facing murder charges in Maryland, Randall is charged with falsely reporting that her daughter had been kidnapped in Delaware. An Amber Alert was issued, then canceled hours later.
Go be my baby. She touched so many people, and they remember her because she is unforgettable.
Court documents details a custody battle between Randall and Nola's biological father. Records show he tried to stop Randall from taking their daughter out of Indiana. Randall remains in a Delaware jail on murder charges. She's awaiting to be extradited to Maryland. Still to come here on Coast TV News at 11, a look at the parade celebrating 250 years of the Army that took place yesterday in Washington, D.C.
This is Coast TV News at 11.
A show of force in the nation's capital. military hardware including tanks, choppers, and fighter jets, honoring the 250th anniversary of the Army. That celebration framed by protest in D.C. and across the country as immigration roundups continue in several states. Jay Gray shows us the latest from Washington.
Close to 7,000 men and women in uniform marching through the center of Washington. Soldiers representing every era of the Army. 250 years of history. As hundreds of thousands line Constitution Avenue cheering them on. Fighter jets and choppers overhead.
And you see those jets fly over. Anybody watching, just keep watching because it's going to be a good night.
Tanks, Humvees, and howitzers rolling past the viewing platform, President Trump standing to salute. A show of military might he's been pushing for since his first administration, playing out on his 79th birthday.
The Army keeps us free, you make us strong, and tonight you have made all Americans very proud. Every other country celebrates their victories. It's about time America did too. That's what we're doing tonight.
But with military equipment, the National Guard and Marines now a part of immigration raids in California, not everyone agrees the country is winning right now. The Refuse Fascism Coalition spilling into the streets of D.C. No Kings rallies, with tens of thousands raising their voices. In all 50 states speaking out against the president and his policies, including the ongoing immigration raids.
Listen to the people. We're not happy, you know, all of us. And it's not right or left, it's wrong or right.
Frustration sparking outrage as sparking fireworks filled the sky over the nation's capital. Jay Gray, NBC News, Washington.
A controversial bill passes the Delaware Senate. What it could change and what happens is next. A controversial bill is heading to a Delaware House committee. Here's a look above Dagsboro, where a substation could go if that bill is signed into law. Senate Bill 159 passed the Senate on Tuesday in a 15-5 vote. CoastTV News reporter Zacchaea Jennings shows us what people are thinking and what's next for this bill.
We're taking a look now in the Coast Copter at the plot of land in Dagsboro, directly across from the recently retired Indian River Power Plant. This empty space below us is where U.S. Wind hopes to put a substation, and after Tuesday's Senate vote, they are one step closer to doing just that.
The bill would overturn Sussex County Council's decision to deny a permit for the project. But both the substation and offshore wind in general have faced public pushback.
Why do we want to take that and completely disrupt it and build and bury cables and termination points and then run that down all the way to the power station that's way down in Millsboro under the seabed?
Ken Reuter says he's not against offshore wind, but he does not think Delaware should be involved in Maryland's project.
I see a significant detriment in the way that we are being tasked as a state for a Maryland project to host the onboarding of the connection into a land-based substation.
CoastTV reached out to Sussex County's public information officer about the passing of the bill. He says, quote, "The county remains hopeful that we, along with other local government officials, can continue to collaborate with our state partners to work towards the best solutions for the public we all serve." While we could not interview U.S. Wind today, a statement was shared from its Vice President of External Affairs, saying in part, quote, "The electric grid could face a capacity shortage as soon as this summer, and energy costs in Delaware continue to rise. Now more than ever, Delaware and other PJM states should enact policies to facilitate as much new energy generation as possible. SB 159 will ensure reliability for Delawareans while lowering the price they pay for electricity." When asked what's next for the substation, U.S. Wind shared they, quote, "can't speak to what would happen if the bill ultimately passes."
Now that the bill has passed the Senate, it will be assigned to a House committee. If it is voted out of committee, it will be sent to the House floor for a vote. From the Coast Copter, flying above Dagsboro, I'm Zacchaea Jennings, Coast TV News.
As previously reported on Coast TV News earlier this week, other bills that are raising eyebrows regarding government overreach are Senate Bills 87 and 75. 87 would require towns and homeowners associations to allow secondary housing units or accessory dwelling units on single-family lots. Senate Bill 75 limits local authority over marijuana businesses. After the break here on Coast TV News at 11, as we take a live look into Salisbury, meteorologist Chris Mastrobrono has a look at your 10-day forecast. Today is Father's Day. It will mark 115 years since the first observance of Father's Day. Americans plan to spend a record $24 billion on the holiday. The National Retail Foundation says nearly half of people will buy a gift for a dad or a stepfather. And a special thank you to my dad. I'll be nowhere close to the man I am today without your leadership and guidance. So happy Father's Day to you and all the fathers out there.
Well said. Happy Father's Day to my dad, Graziano, back in Jersey watching in. Tonight, though, we're at 63, scattered showers, a brief downpour. We begin the day tomorrow, damp, few spotty showers, areas of drizzle, cloudy afternoon, 70. I think by Tuesday, we'll see some breaks of sun in those clouds and a few showers late in the day through the overnight. Get your forecast anytime by dialing the First Alert weather phone, and your 10-day forecast shows we're up to 90 Wednesday. Could see a late storm, but a better chance of storms comes Thursday, as we see a high of 93 degrees, and then you see at the tail end of the 10-day, yeah, the heat really begins to kick in. Look at that, Sunday through Wednesday, mid-90s.
Thank you for that, Chris. It's getting heated up here on Delmarva. Thanks for joining us here for Coast TV News at 11. For more news and local weather, download our Coast TV News app. We'll see you in just a few hours for Coast TV News today, starting at 5 a.m. Have a great night.